Hello, everyone, to those just joining, to people who have been waiting, to everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this. Hello, welcome to another stream, and it is Sunday once again. I am gaming the dev, yes, here. It is Game Dev Day. So last time when I was working on this, I got. If I need to open up the I forgot to open up my diagrams on Clip Studio again. Whoops. I'll just. Hey, Hazza, hope you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good. And I hope you're having a good day or good night. I mean, good night because you're in the UK as well. But I hope you're having a good night, and I hope you have a good day. There we go. Got the stuff open in Clip Studio. So in terms of where I got to, in terms of building the level, I finished the little wall jump segment, and I'll go into the actual level, test level itself, because Unreal for the project still opens up the third person example map as my little oh, whoops, I did not mean to minimize the window. That was I was trying to drag down on the content browser so I can actually see more of what I've done. So to walk through everything so far, and I think I should. Oh, that's weird. There we go. I'm also trying to think of music to put on from Spyro 3. I might also just kind of dip into Spyro 2 music as well for game dev streams. I wonder if the channel that I've been doing stuff from has that. It probably does as a playlist. Hold on. It does. Perfect. And I may as well do the old opera thing because I love. There we go. If I can actually skip having ads on a video, that would be nice, but I don't want YouTube Premium. Right, there we go. Perfect. Nice. Anyway, so, for people who've been kind of fairly keeping up with things, you'll know what changes I've made recently, but for people who are kind of, in the dark about things, I'll walk through the whole, test level that I've been making so far. Also, sorry about that again. I still have slight cold symptoms. I feel like every so often it comes and goes. It gets better, then it gets worse again. And then... I swear to God, it feels... Oh, it, of course, play mode's taking a while. It always does. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to go through the whole level of what we've got so far. So we have, the little opening area, which, starts here. The player can go off over here. And they have, little platforms to jump up here. Sort of, basic control stuff. At the moment, there's no, obstacles here. But this is where I'm going to have, little pushing things that push the player over into this area here. So if they're not fast enough, because this is the whole, sort of teaching them, using the sprint and whatnot. So if they get pushed off here, they fall down here, and then they can always just sort of jump back up here like this, and then give it another go. They run across, they make it to here, and then we have, a bit with the air dash. So they jump from platform to platform with the air dash, and then I think I made this one... Yep, double air dashes, so you need to use both the air dashes in order to make it, and possibly with the sprint as well. Then they go up here, I don't have like the actual end area of the level carved out yet, but I'll make it possible so you can see it from here. But the player should be able to see it from there, from like this little viewing window. I should possibly put like an invisible like block of something here, so it basically simulates like a window, so the player can't just, you know, jump through like that. Anyway, while I don't have like a texture for like a cracked floor made up yet, I do want to do that at some point, but it's obvious that this like pattern for this floor like here is a bit off compared to the rest, so the player can stomp down and go down there, even though sometimes when that happens, like the first time around or so, it does kind of like freeze up a little bit. I'm wondering if that's to do with some of the stomp code in general, or just but anyway, so we have this little slope here going up this hill to this tower here. And originally in my little diagram, I didn't indicate whether or not I wanted it to be like a slope or anything. It was just kind of like an arrow going out from like this area where the player stomps through the floor, lands in like the bottom area, and then sort of walks up here, or walks towards here. And I originally experimented with the idea of just having the player walk just towards there, but it resulted in having a wall jumping segment that was way too long, and I don't want that to be the sort of thing where it's like it takes too long to do a thing. Also, don't mind the little arm reference there in the sub-view window on Clip Studio. That's what I was doing Friday. Like, I was just doing like a small little anatomy practice with arms and stuff that time. So that's what I was doing the other day. But so instead of having it just be a sort of straight walkway, I instead changed it up a bit to be a sort of sloped walkway leading up to this like floating tower thing, which kind of looks a bit goofy, but it works for what it is. And then we have like the wall jumping section here. So as you can tell, the player is unable to sort of get up here normally, even if they sort of push against it completely. So they will jump off the wall like that. And because of how the wall jumping works, where it's the angle that the wall detection sort of detects, like jumping into the wall for the player, they'll be sort of bounced out at that angle. So we just sort of jump up here, like bit by bit, and then we make it up here, where the player can just sort of jump across here. And then this bit's going to be for the wall sliding. Though one thing I have learned, and also for an air dash there, but one thing I have learned is that I may need to actually adjust the strength of the wall sliding, because that feels a little bit... It feels like the player slides down a bit too easily there. I don't know if that's just a me thing, or if it's actually to do with the current strength of the wall slide, though I guess I could always look at adjusting it. And then this bit here, like before, like the little final area thing, was where I got to, and that was where I got to the last time I was doing this, last time I was working on this last week. But yeah, that's what I have done for the level so far. And as I said, like the wall jump and wall slide segment is there, it's complete now. Now I want like the little final test, and what I want to do for the final test, so if we go, I need to open the other little diagram that I made way back when I was starting to get this done. Not so much a diagram, but it's more a timeline. So So along this timeline, so I'm just going to reiterate things. Along this whole timeline, we have, so of course at the start, we have the basic movement, so walking, running, like walking, jumping, sprinting, and so on. Then we have the section with the air dash and double air dashes. Then that little mini segment with the stomp. Then we have the wall jumping and wall sliding segment, which I meshed together into one. And for the final test bit, I want to be able to essentially pull it all together. I want to basically, in a way, I want to do what, like, some old games kind of did unconsciously, where they would introduce concepts in isolation, and then once they felt that you've learnt enough of, like, a different concept, such as a mechanic for the player, or a level obstacle, or so on, then they would sort of teach you something else and slowly teach you different things, and then by the end of it, would essentially bring it all together. There's a couple of examples I may be thinking of, but yeah, no, that's my vision with it at the moment. That's, at present, my vision. So, now, the thing I was kind of pondering about mostly was how the hell I'm going to essentially bring all of this together in the end. In a way, I can turn off unlit, because otherwise I can't see anything. Like, and also I need to work on adjusting, like, this material in part as well, because... But then again... never mind. I can think about that later. What I need to focus on right now is actually getting these pieces sort of all together. So... I guess this particular stream will be part, like, me trying to plan and illustrate what I want for this, and part, you know, actually putting it all together. Because while I have a bit of an understanding of what I want things to look like and feel like in my mind, I don't exactly have it completely nailed down, if that makes sense. So, you know, it's kind of, it's racking my brain a bit, is the one thing that I'm mostly trying to say. It's definitely racking my brain a bit. So, I want to at least plan, like, try and illustrate it a bit better. So, for now, we're gonna dive into Clip Studio, and sort of try and get, like, ideas onto, I guess, paper, I suppose paper. So, like, I kind of did, like, a small taste of bringing some elements together towards the end of the wall jump, wall slide segment, because if we look at it, it does kind of force the player to, like, of course, like, wall jump to different parts, like, different walls as they're descending. And at the moment, there's no reason for that to happen, though I am going to sort of implement an obstacle that basically forces them to keep switching walls, if that makes... Or switch the wall at least once, if that makes sense. Also, at the very least, right at the top here, so that they're forced to sort of jump onto this wall at first, and then jump onto, like, back onto this wall here. But, as I was saying, as they get closer to the bottom, where there's, like, a bottomless pit, they're essentially forced to wall jump, then air dash, and then land on here. Also, one thing that I am kind of curious about is whether or not how stomping works should be adjusted. Because the thing is, if I start, like, in play mode, and, like, until the air dash ends, like, the player can't do anything out of an air dash, but as soon as the air dash ends, you can essentially just do a stomp out of an air dash if your heart desires. You can do that. I also realize that Coyote time for the player may be a bit generous, which is what we're getting here. If you jump too low, so I may need to look into adjusting that as well. I'm pretty sure it's a property on the player that I can adjust, though if not, then I'd have to dive into the codes to do that. So, you know what? I'm going to quickly adjust some things with the player right now before I actually start trying to draw out my points, because otherwise, these small little... I guess the small little feeling within the gameplay may actually kind of bug me, if that makes sense. So... Also, I'm not sure if... No, actually, that's not the right way of sort of looking at it. I'd say if anyone, like, has a proper opinion, or just any opinion on it in general, if that makes sense, like in chat or watching things back, if you're watching the VOD back and you want to leave it in the comments, then by all means, go ahead. Or like I may have made the change already and you may hit the nail right on the head, or I haven't made the change and it's just there for me to look at. But in terms of stomping, because at the moment, like before I make these changes, at the moment, like there's no real... I should drag this back down again. Whoops, sorry about that. But there's no real like visual feedback from it. Like from running, there is kind of visual feedback, though I'm wondering if this is the right... Because I know in Spyro, at the very least, the camera zooms in on Spyro when he's charging. That's what happens. Though in some other games, I'd say Sonic Generations, the camera zooms... I think the camera zooms out when... I can't... I played it again recently because of Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I can't remember already. God. I'd have to take a look. But I think in some games as well, the camera will zoom out instead when you're going quickly, which I guess is kind of a thing. That's, like, I have visual feedback for this. There's no, like, proper visual feedback for the air dash yet, though I want that to be, like, a little, like, puff or dust cloud, if that makes sense. But that's little visual things I can do later, as well as the thing that I'm going to talk about. If I could stop, you know, sniffling a bit, because it's kind of getting on my nerves. But yeah, the one thing that I am mildly concerned about when it comes to like visual feedback is the stomp. At the moment, like there's no real, like, aside from the squash and stretch, which I still love, there's no actual like feedback for the player landing. There's no like slight camera shake or anything. So my question is, would it be good for me to add like a slight camera shake for the stomp when the player lands or when the player like breaks an object? Because I feel like although it's a minor thing, it's a minor change. Have I made any progress on the player model yet? I have not. No, I haven't made any progress in the player model for Mums. If I go and find, I don't even remember if the temp model is still in here. Yeah, it is. It's still in here. Like, from when I was working on it in Blender, like, months ago, I did have, like, it modeled. I did have it rigged, but I don't have it, like, textured or anything yet. So at the moment, it just uses like a temp white texture for everything at the moment. But it does have the vertex displacement effect for like the PS1 models and stuff, which is cool. But I do want to actually, you know, yeah, I want to get my little Ratman sorted eventually, because I made it months ago, and I don't want to sort of leave it there, because I feel like I actually did a decent job with it. So, I want to get back to it eventually. But I think, like, maybe a slight camera shake might work. I don't know if that would be the best, like, according to everyone. Yeah, like... Wait, do you mean, like, when the stomp actually starts, when the player starts falling? Is that what you meant? Because I couldn't... Because... Like, there's enough visual feedback for, like, the run, except for, like, maybe little dust particles on the floor. I would like to do... When it collects... Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. That's what I meant initially. That's what I want to do. Like, a slight camera shake, as well as the squash and stretch, because I like doing the squash and stretch. But also little dust clouds as well, because that would work wonders. But this is like visual notes that I should be like writing down. So as well as like trying to illustrate my ideas, I'm also going to be writing down notes for little visual effects that I can add to certain things to make it feel like it has a bit more juice to it. So right, so as I was saying, so puffs of dust on stomp / air dash, oh whoops, / sprint. Though for the sprint one, I want it to be more like a little sort of trailing thing rather than like a little like puff that appears out of nowhere or appears at a spot. Puffs of dust, slight camera shake on stomp. And of course there'll be like there'll be different visual things for other things happening within the gameplay as well, but that's when it gets to it. So yeah, talking about some of my ideas for bringing things together in the final section of the test level. I already kind of went over this a little bit with where I was talking about the end of the wall jump slide segment. Before I went on my tangent about the stomp and then the visual effects and whatnot, because, you know, I like to get carried away. Like, at the end of the wall slide segment, so you wall jump in the tower, you get to the top, you get here, and then you do the wall slide bit, and then wall jump, and then air dash. And that's kind of like a little taste of, like, bringing it together, but I'm trying to... Listen, I'm about to explode. Please take cover, chat. But I'm trying to visualize it. I'm trying to visualize, like, more ways I can bring some of the mechanics together. It's kind of difficult in a way if it's like only the player movement mechanics that you're sort of trying to experiment with rather than bringing together different level mechanics. So, or I'm overthinking it. I might just be overthinking it, which is entirely possible. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely overthinking things in places. So let's get back into Clip Studio. So we already have, like, wall slide into, like, a wall jump. and we already have like a wall slide, or like a wall jump onto another wall, or a wall slide into a wall jump into an air dash. So those are the things I've kind of already gone over. I'm wondering if, like, I would like to have like a little thing where the player has to do like an air dash, and then they have to stomp like down to either land on something or break through a ground, like a bit of ground, maybe? And I already have a blueprint specifically made for breakable floors, so I can easily sort of recycle what I did earlier in the level. So, like an air dash into a stomp, or air dash into a wall jump slash slide. So like that. Like that. Sorry, I was thinking of some of the things Krillin says in Dragon Ball Fighters. That's one of the things he does when he does like I think it's one of his crouching moves, but he just says it like that. And it's easy to imagine it as something else, but yes. So we have wall jump into like onto another wall, or for a wall slide, wall slide into a wall jump onto another wall slide into wall jump into air dash into stomp, air dash into jumping onto another wall. Which, to be fair, that's probably one of the easier things that I could implement for like little test things. But yeah, like, that one seems easy. I could definitely see something with this happening. Like, either right at the end. It's actually... like, thinking, hold on. And also, I want it so it's like not a straight sort of like obstacle course where it's just like, oh, you go from one thing to the next thing, and then you do that thing, and then you do that thing. I want it to sort of like do what I've been doing previously, where things deviate in a different direction. And also to chat, welcome back from the ad break. That probably happened not too long ago, but I'm saying it anyway because I've been concentrating on trying to draw out ideas. But anyway, I want it to sort of like do what I've been doing earlier, where like it deviates like in different directions to meet at the end. Though I feel like actually making the end point of the level will probably be a good idea, because then I can sort of like But that's just what I'm thinking. Yeah, you know what? I think trying to make the actual end area... Oh, wait, why did I go back? I went back onto the starting soon screen. Whoops! Sorry about that, chat. It almost made it feel like, oh, I'm starting the stream all over again. Right. In terms of how far I want this end area to be, like, I want it to be viewable from here. Like, I don't know if I want it to sort of break off, like, that direction, and then it sort of, like, goes, like... If I had to give a bird's eye view of things, like, I don't know if I want, like, the end area to be this big monolithic structure that's sort of sticking out here, and then this bit goes, like, down there, like down in this direction, down in that direction, there, and it sort of scales up slowly, or if I want it to sort of go there, and have it still be there. But I do want a giant sort of monolithic kind of structure. That's what I want. So, without further ado, brush editing mode. We're going to get into that now. Well, not just that, but I also need the place actors panel. So I can actually get the geometry I need. Right, so that's currently there. And I'm go toiler BRB. Alright, see you here. Hope you don't fall in. Right, so let's see. What, say 3,000. Okay, that's generally pretty huge. That makes it wider than I was expecting. I was not expecting the... Don't be sad. I am wishing good faith for you to not fall in. So we do that. Oh wait, that needs to be way taller. Right, so if I go here and we see, and we no, actually, you know what? Make it easier. Play a scene from here. Yeah, that's noticeable enough. Right. The one reason, like the big reason why I was so insistent on having a structure that is like easily identifiable, like not just here, but I don't know if you can see it through like this part and level. No, you can't. That sucks. But probably definitely as soon as like you get out of here. So if we walk up here, and yep, no, you can see it. You can see the huge fuck off structure at the end of the level. Right. So from my understanding, from one level design online course that I did 2 years ago, it's been over 2 years since or almost 2 years since I was like looking at that. A good element of level design that you shouldn't always necessarily follow, but it's a good kind of building block to use in some cases, is having essentially an identifiable landmark or structure within the level space that you can see from basically most of the level. So it essentially serves as kind of a guidepost in a way. It sort of signposts you to, this is probably most likely where you're going, where the level will end, where you need to go, and so on. So having something like this like be this huge and noticeable from like fairly early on in the level is probably good for what I'm trying to achieve. So yeah, at the moment there's like nothing carved out for it yet. I will probably get to that, but at the very least I wanted to define where the level will end, or at the very least the structure where the level will end, so I could properly form like the ending of the level, or this final section of the level around it. So I'm not just kind of like placing things here or there and wondering, wait, why is this not working? So, you know, it's something that for all intents and purposes is kind of necessary in order for me to focus my thoughts a bit more. So, yeah, this huge structure, end of level, this will be what I'm forming the end section of this test level around. And in the hopes of providing, like, an experience that ties the rest of, like, the learned mechanics together. I also keep saying like repeatedly. Something I've noticed. So it's a little frustrating in a way. Anyway, brush editing mode should actually... Can I actually select this face? There we go. I want to extrude it first, because... What if I rotate this face? Okay, that's not how it works. Ah. So if I grab this edge... I'm trying to grab this edge. What if I rotate the... No, that's not how it works. I thought I could do that. Oh well. Okay, it definitely didn't fuse the two. That should fuse the two now. Though I do kind of wish that I could have... There's something I'm thinking about. In terms of... Like, I was hoping to... Right, that wouldn't have worked. I think I'm going to have to extrude this face. And see what I can do with it from there. So let's extrude. This is going to be a hodgepodge. Right, then edit. I do wish it would just kind of automatically snap, because this is kind of annoying. It's still slightly higher. Yeah, it's still slightly higher. I also get the feeling that I've done something horribly wrong here. Oh, that's weird. What's going on? Right. I hope it didn't create two... no, it hasn't. I don't think it has. fair, I think it looking like this is fine enough. Although I do need to kind of flatten that end part a bit. There we go, I think. Oh, wait, no, I see what I've done wrong. Got to grab the edge rather than the vertex. Now let's flatten this part again, because... Right. So we have this little walkway that kind of goes out here, and then boom, we get to extrude again. This is gonna look horrible, I bet. Oh no, actually, that doesn't look too bad. Wow. Right, I'm gonna undo the extrude, because otherwise I feel like it may mess things up if I try to extrude more than once, or try to edit where this thing ends manually, because it is kind of frustrating. Oh, right. Hello back. I am forward. Alright, so as I was doing before, extrude this a bit further. I don't want the player to be able to sort of reach back. And then I want to grab the edge. Hello? There we go. I don't think this is even. No, it's not. It's about as... Don't. Down, boy. Down. Oh. You said edge. Oh. Okay, it's my brain that's been ruined. You fool. I fell for your trap. So, I don't know if I want it to be a single air dash that the player needs to get up onto this part of the wall jump. Actually, I'll think of... Right, hold on. So, along the X, 400. No, 600. I want it to be 600. Right. And then on the Z, I'll make it 500. Just as a little test. Right, so the player can make it on like a single air dash. But then again, I may want to lower it. So it's a bit easier to reach it. So 800. We'll do 800. No, hold on. We'll do 1,000. Oh, no, that's 100. No! Whoops. And then I extrude the doohickamajiggy because I want to actually make a floor from here by extruding again, which is so awesome and so cool. Though really, I should have... never mind. I did not think. Right. Gotta add another one in now. So that's 600 by 200 by 1,000. Oh, I was typing in. I apparently I hadn't clicked on the field. Whoops. So its current location is 1,450. Oh, I was wrong. 14,505. I was not looking at the extra digit. So 14,505 by Z is currently 1,570. So I move this. Weird. Odd. I don't want to extrude it. I want to move the shape. And then move it up. So now I'm going to test... No, not what I meant to do. I do need to affect like the angle of the directional light because it is kind of annoying. So... Give me your money! What was... I turned up the... I mean, either... Was it me turning up the intensity or me doing the fucking give me your money meme scream? Right, I'm wondering if having the light shining like this is better. It's not. I want the light to be... I'll just make it brighter. There we go. But there's still shadow! What do you mean? Oh. Alright, so it's just above everything anyway. Right, that's looking a bit better. Right, so now I actually want to test this bit. Okay, that's not going to make... Ugh. Right, it's a bit different actually doing the air dash into the wall jump rather than air dashing onto a platform, then wall jumping. It's a bit different. Or a bit different. It's very different. And of course, that's too low. And I did the wrong thing again. Whoops. Oh wait, no. It wasn't. It's the fact that it's a bit too far. Right. So bring the wall a little bit closer. So it's a bit more consistent, so the player doesn't, like, you know, lose too much height. There we go. There. There we go. So they do that, they do the wall jump up here onto this platform, then they... Let me think. Right, I'm trying to think. Right. Think. There's something I'm also realizing, because I have an idea in mind for part of this. Thankfully, I have an idea in mind for part of this. However, there is one kind of hiccup in the way, and the main thing is the age-old problem of, aside from me yawning, is the age-old problem of the fact that the wall slide doesn't readjust the player's angle towards, like, the wall itself. I know I'm not explaining it in the best ways possible, but Right, so going to place another box. Say hello to the box, chat, because the box will change. The box is going to become something brand new. Why does it never do it in the bloody... That's so frustrating. Anyway, right, so X is still that. And Y needs to be like that. But how do I split? Can I just split two shapes rather than needing to duplicate them? I don't want to have to duplicate the shape, or the shape that I'm trying to make, because it's a bit of a hassle. Oh, I may actually need it to be at least 900, and then make it a bit narrower. So we'd have the... And the player would have to sprint into an air dash onto another platform where they do the same. So I am going to have to duplicate this. Unless there is a thing for splitting. There is. Oh, you have to be in... Ah, that's so annoying! That is so annoying. So if I go up here, so the player jumps down there, they sprint, they avoid the thing, they air dash. Wait, can I make it without an air dash? They can't make it without an air dash. Cool, cool, right. So creating reliance on the air dash, that is... I was trying to do that, didn't mean to do it in, like, indirectly. I just got actually fucked over by... Oh, God. What happened this time, brother? What happened? I was under par with like 4 holes left. And I got stuck in the spot. Ah, that's fucked. That's so fucked. Right. And then... Right. Then place another actor or another box, another Another bit of geometry, another shape, another funny little thing. Right. So this one should be like this, where it's 600 on the X. No, in this case it would be 600 on the Y. Yeah, there. And then I'll say at least 1,000 on the Z, because I want to test a thing. Right, so play from here again. So air dash onto the thing, avoid the thing. At the moment, this was the age-old problem I was talking about. The fact that the check for wall slide doesn't extend too far, firstly, so I need to sort of adjust that a little bit. And the second problem will come when I actually, you know, get it to wall slide, like, down the... Whew, sorry about that. To get it to wall slide down that wall. So, BP player, did I make a wall slide? Yeah, wall slide check distance. So, I'm going to up that to 50, not 500. Not what I meant to do at all. Now, the one thing I can't remember, because it's been a while since I've tinkered with these values, like not so much like the check distance, because you know that's self-explanatory, but more so in terms of the wall slide rate. So I'm going to up it by about 400 and see what happens there. And you know what? I think I made it edit anywhere. I'm not entirely sure. So if I find the player, search wall slide right, yeah, I made it edit anywhere. So if I do this, right, and apparently 50 is still not enough. So, oh, I did not mean to do that. It's set it to the wireframe. Ugh. Right. So 2,800 seems like a fine point, though in terms of the check distance, and the reason I was opting for a sort of short check distance anyway was because let's give it a test on a taller wall. Right, so that slows down a little bit nicely. But it's still based on, like, the angle that the player is facing at the time of, like, when they press jump. There we go. Right, so that's a better demonstration of that. What I would like is on a wall slide at the very least, like when it first like properly starts wall sliding, I do want it to snap the player to face the wall properly, if that makes sense. So right. Okay, so that's what I want to do for, like, this little wall here. And I'll sort that out. So if I go... I think it's still... I should also take a look at, like, the velocity and see how that changes. Because that shouldn't be... That shouldn't be set to anything. So let's look at the character movement. Where's the velocity? I need to find the velocity. Whoops. Whoops. Right. I've lost where I was. And I lost it again. Right. Okay, so the main problem is coming from if the player wall jumps when they're, or starts to wall slide when they're very much like gaining momentum, it doesn't slow down enough. So I don't know if this is going to be a matter of like adjusting the wall slide rate again, or if it's something within the code itself that needs to be adjusted. I may need to actually take a look within the code itself to see if there's anything that I can change to make this a bit more consistent. Because this is kind of frustrating. Yeah, no. I think I'm definitely going to look at some of the code to see what can be adjusted. But I'll do that later down the line. I need to focus on getting this level done. First, right, priorities are get level done, then, get level done, then make the tweaks that I need to make. So, focus on getting this done, then we can get the tweaks done. So, I'm going to set this to, whoops, 1,500 instead, because I want this to go down a little bit. So, this, screw it, 2,000. We're going 2,000. We're up in the numbers here. Then again, rather than just this being a simple like slide down, because it would be easy. It could be fairly easy for the player to just kind of like jump down onto like a different part of the level geometry. What I would want to do, maybe, is... Oh, wait, no, actually, better idea. I have a better idea. Though this would involve making the change, like, eventually making the change that I want to make in terms of, like, how it snaps the player. Because it doesn't snap him at the moment, but... We'll get there, we'll get there. So, I'll leave this wall the height it is at the moment, because I may want to do something cool with this. So, So bring it down to a 200. And then on the X, bring it up to 600 at the very least. And then that makes it more square than cube or cube more. Bleh. It makes it more square than rectangular. So sorry, my brain is a big mush at the moment trying to put all these ideas together. So it's taking its time. It's taking its time, but it's shaping. It's taking its shape. Yeah, so I will test this. So probably means I need to bring this a little bit closer if I want this to work, because I am changing up ideas. So really? And I will need to drag this down a little bit, so it's a bit more reachable. Right. So run here, do that, do that, do that, because that can still happen. And then the player's up here. So the player's up here now. I'm also understanding that there's only so much of, like, experimentation I can do with bringing these ideas together before it kind of repeats itself. And that's an inevitability when I'm building a test level based around the player's mechanics rather than having some sort of environmental mechanic. But it's not all terrible. Right. Okay. Brain, focus. Right. Though, in a way, it's kind of like a reiteration of the whole, like, wall jumping to ascend kind of deal. So maybe I'll do, like, a repeat of that. So yeah, no. Now I see what I'm doing. Right. A little bit clearer. A little bit clearer. So I like when that happens. I like when I actually can think of a thing. So it just needs to be slightly higher. Or I need to duplicate this but make it a platform that's slightly higher. And I know it's not the best designed level environment, nor do I claim to be able to make something that's the best designed, but it's something that functions at the very least. So, can the player get up here? The player can't get up here, just like before, and then they just jump there. I do want to incorporate the stomp somewhere, like towards the end. So, obstacles go boom, they jump there, they jump there, they jump up onto here, they jump up onto there. Right, so they jump up, and then this is the problem. Every so often I get that burst of like, holy shit, I know what I'm doing, and then every so often it stops and I have to think again. Right. Right, so oh wait, no, I know how I want the level to end. I know how I want to get to like the actual end of the level. So while I have this shape here, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm happy that I actually managed to think of how I want this thing to end. So and I know it's not going to be the most even or evenly placed, and that's going to upset me a little bit. But we can't have everything. But is it going to be on the Y? Yeah. Right. And then of course, so say, and then increase the height about 1,000 maybe. Move it up. Hold on. Definitely higher. 2,000. I'll say 2,000 is better. And then I want to make it hollow. And then in terms of the wall thickness for this bit down here, I made it 400. So I'm going to do that again for this one. I'm going to make it 400. Wall thickness of 400. Okay, actually, maybe not. That wall thickness of 400 only really worked when this shape was 1000x, or 1600x and 1740y. To be fair, the whole thing with the breakable floor is that it's supposed to be malleable. It's supposed to be something that I can adjust. So we'll get there when we get there, but for now, say 1,000. We'll say 1,200 just to be on the safe side, so that's, I mean, it needs to be brought out a bit, so it'll be brought over anyway. So now what I need is a subtractive brush. So box. Oh, come on. Right. Sometimes it doesn't like placing things down when I try and place them. There we go. And then rotate. 45. That works. Did I put it right in the center? Almost. I almost put it right in the center. That's upsetting. There we go. Right. That's lovely. That's nice. It's not perfect, but it will do. So next we adjust it. I mean, I want to make it subtractive first so I can get a good gauge for this. So let's try 800. 900 or 1,000? 1,400? Okay, 1,400 might be a bit too much. 1,200. There we go. 1,200 by 800. Let's see, 800. Oh, that was perfect. So drag that down. Two over kilometers per second. Right. Right. Hole has been made. So this little box thing is where I want this level to end. I'm not actually gonna, like, do a whole thing of hollowing out this huge structure. It's just kind of there. But for all intents and purposes, say there's like a locked door here, and this locked door would be the end of the level. And then, you know, like just as an example, and then the player needs to stomp through here. So right, I need to grab the blueprint that I used for the BP breakable floor, and I need to duplicate that. Right, and then we get the old mesh. Right. Scale. Oh wait, that's... Oh wait, it's locked. It's uniform scale. Right, so in terms of, like, this is mostly okay? Right, it will do. It's not perfect, it will do. And then... put that there so I can actually... Right, that works. Right, and that's how I want the Stomp to play in the end of the level. I want the player as they're like sort of either jumping off of a wall or finishing an air dash and they find themselves above this thing to just... Oop, I should probably take my important stuff. There we go. Perfect. Yep, there we go. That's the one. I don't know why, in my head, I have the strongest urge to just... I mean, this is probably because of my attitude with the level, like, by the end of the level design module back at university. But I have the strongest urge to just kind of do a cop-out and just speed up towards the ending, which I really don't want to do. I don't want to just rush the ending of the level just for the sake of getting it out of the way. Oh, hey, Flared! Hope you're doing okay. Like, I don't want to do what I... Just prepping for bed, yeah. Long day and stuff, and also getting ready for work and stuff, yeah. I understand that. I mean, I had work today and yesterday. I mean, yesterday was busy. Today was quieter, which was nice. Very lazy day today and yesterday. Oh! At the very least, you're getting a bit of rest. Got a conference tomorrow. Ooh. Sounds like big, important stuff. That sounds like a lot, honestly. Yeah, science things. Thankfully, it's kind of... At least you don't have to go too far if it's kind of local. Unlike if and when I want to go to, like a networking event in London, and I have to travel all the way to London for a networking event. It's a bit of a hassle, but it's not all too bad. I mean, I don't mind going to London. I enjoy going to London. I do miss living there from when I was studying at university. Yeah, there are nice places in London. There are nice places in London. Not every part of London, but, you know, it is what it is. Like, every place that is nice will still have some areas that's kind of but there are a lot of places I enjoy going to in London whenever I get the chance. Yeah, nodders. I'm hoping this lines up properly. If it's slightly misaligned... No! I'm gonna have to move this manually as well because of how the bloody coordinate systems are working against me right now. I just want to be able to make the wall to do the jump from this time. 200, right. And I'm going to have to move it back anyway. Right, so... Scale up by 1,000, because that's going to help. But I do... If and when I can, I do need to get back out in London at some point. I miss it. Last time I went... Hold on. Oh yeah, no, the side quest, like, there's a lot that's opening up to her now. A lot of the stuff is opening up to her now, which I'm happy with. Also, I gave her the curse knowledge that, for me, Cole, because his voice actor is Daddy Pig. Which, I can never get over the fact that they got Daddy Pig for Xenoblade Chronicles. And yeah, no, you'll meet them eventually, Heater, when I get to it in my playthrough, because for the most part, the last few Xenoblade streams went from let's do the story to, you know, let's do the side quests and let's get a lot of the materials needed for gem crafting and stuff. But we'll get there eventually, because I've been level grinding as well, so I don't, you know, struggle like I did with some parts of the early game for some reason, because, you know, I don't normally struggle with it. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Like, as soon as, like, the other ability stuff becomes available, like the other art stuff becomes available, yeah, one of them is super important. Or they're both super important, but one of them is very super important. So we'll have wall jump that kind of goes boop, 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 boop. But honestly, I've been too side quest build. Like, off stream, and like, I've gotten a lot of the stuff for Colony 6 up to level 3. I've done a lot of the side quests down, like, in the Upper Bionis and down in Colony 9 and all that stuff. The other one is skippable, apparently, but the build I used was centered around abusing that one. Yeah, it is skippable, but it is still super helpful to have. Oh, right. Go... Horikos. We'll go for Horikos. Oh, I hate ads. I don't want Vodafone telling me about how easy it is to switch for broadband. There we go. Horikos. That one plus haste 6. I need to actually get... Combined with the sacrifice health to... Yeah, you can have it 100% all the... I need to... Like, because I'm definitely not at the point where I can get the materials to, at the very least, make like tier 5 gems and possibly boost them up to 6 with the 200% heat. But I do need to get me some haste gems because they'll be super helpful with everything. For the most part, I've mainly been getting like agility and strength up and ether up and ether defense up gems, mainly to make party members more durable and tanky. Though mainly agility up for Dunban's sake, so he just doesn't get hit. And it's been working out pretty well in my favor. One from the Collectopedia. I'm assuming the other one would probably be a quest if we're talking about, like, drops, or maybe... Right, that doesn't reach. I knew it. Right, I'm gonna move that down. Anyhow, gotta dip. Have a lovely stream. Well, even though it was a little while, thank you ever so much for stopping by, Flared. And I hope you have a good night. And good luck with your conference tomorrow and Tuesday. Hope it all goes well. Right, so I don't want this being too far out. Right, so game, Unreal, hello. Right, so okay, and now I can't. That's not gonna work. Oh, you did it? You finally did it? Also, I think for this one, I'm gonna nix the, like, forcing the air dash here, and then just have them jump from the wall normally. Just to avoid some hassle. Sometimes needs must. 3 under, yeah! Let's go! Right, what I do want to do is have it sort of come out. Again, extrude this bit. And extrude once again. If I can actually get the face! Right, let me think. So we got. My brain is like. There's right. So in this whole process of trying to conceptualize level design and actually put it into action, like actually create it. There's two sides to this. There's the part of my brain that's wanting me to actually properly think this through, structure it properly, and try and put some effort into it. Like, actually making it feel like a proper level. And then there's the other side that's trying to rush things and bring it to a close quickly rather than actually making a decently structured level. Right. Oh, wait. Ah, no. I accidentally undocked the place actors. Oh, this is not good. Right, I need to get rid of that and then... Oh, gosh. This is frustrating. I want it docked where I need it to be. There we go. Right. So 400 on the Y, 800, no, 1,000 on the X. Let me think, let me think. Come on. Right, let me think, let me think. Right. I just need to lock in. I just need to lock in with the level design. I don't know how one can do that in this. But I will try and lock in and get this done. Oh. Oh gosh. What the hell happened there? Also, people in chat, ad break again in about a minute and 40 seconds. Just a heads up. To be fair, I think I've been too in the rhythm of suffering for my art. And I get... Oh, no, I did not mean to grab the middle. Right, so this is on the Y. Cool. I should probably also save as well, just in case something happens to go wrong. Otherwise, I lose all this progress, and I'll be very upset. I'll be very upset if I somehow lose all the progress. So, I think maybe 700 might be good here. There we go. It hurt. I think it genuinely kind of hurts my brain to try and do stuff on level design because I struggle to think this kind of stuff, and then I don't know. I think it's mainly the frustration that kind of gets like there with me. Like, there's an element of frustration within my head when I'm trying to like take part in level design, because it's like, oh, ad break now. But there is like the element of frustration where, because I'm not, admittedly, I do struggle with level design for the most part. When I'm working on like a prototype, I don't really focus on the level design. I'm mainly focusing on like the mechanics and how I implement them and how I program them and so on and so forth. Because, well, I'm a programmer at heart. That's what I do. But the problem is that if I want to be able to show off a mechanic or system on my portfolio, like, especially with something like this, or to actually build this project up, then I need to be able to design levels that help to supplement the mechanics. And yes, Heater, I know that I am contributing to a conversation in the group chat, but I just had to weigh in because I remembered this. I remembered this memory. Because I remember that one experience I had 2 years ago on my birthday, but yeah. Anyway, this is being weird. My brain wants to finish the level in a rushed way, but I want to do it not professionally, but but then if I get this out of the way, then I can make the adjustments that I want to make for the gameplay. Getting back to programming, which is what I want to do. It's my eternal struggle. This is my eternal struggle. Level design has always been probably my biggest enemy when it comes to development. It was my biggest enemy back at university, and it is still my biggest enemy even now. And that's kind of sad, because it is an important element of the game, of games themselves. Level design is just very critically important. Gosh. Okay, I think this may be done right. We're going to... Now that I think we're done, we're going to play the whole level through. I mean, we don't have the main obstacles in yet, but we're going to give it a little test run through with everything, just because. So, we got this bit here, jump up, then we sprint there. Say, for example, we get pushed off, we run back down this way, and we make our way back up. I mean, I'm definitely probably going to also try and add ladders and stuff too, because that'd probably be pretty cool, and rather than force the player to just sort of like jump up and up and up and up and up again. Right. And then we have the double air dashes. And then we come here, run up the stairs, and we see the end of the level right there, through this window. We can see where we need to go. And so we find that this floor looks suspiciously breakable. At the moment it doesn't, but for the sake of example, let's just imagine that it is. And we do this. And then we have the wall slide. And then the air dash to there. And then we have the start of the final section, which... So sprint along there, sprint along there. Oh, wait, whoops. I forgot about how finicky that part is. Right, so... And to reduce the margin of error for this, I'm going to extend this down slightly. Right, so let's do this again. Okay, so start there. Oh, I missed the jump! Right, so start there, jump up there, la-di-da-di-da. We're sprinting down here. Imagine we get pushed off of here, and then we get pushed down here. We jump back up here. I definitely do want to try and add ladders too, because Spyro had ladders, a lot of other platformers have had ladders, and I feel like ladders would be a pretty cool thing to implement too. La-di-da-di-da. La-di-da-di-da-di-da! But I think ladders would be pretty neat to try and implement. If you think so too, then I'll definitely like chatting people watching things back. If you think so too, then I'll definitely, you know, consider adding that either today or in the future, because that would be pretty sick to do. You know, try and getting to work and whatnot. It would also add like more variety for verticality within the level design. So yeah, I want to try doing that. So we got the wall jump section here. You know, scale to the top, reach the top. And then go there. I realize that also requires a sprint. Screw it, let's play from here. We're not playing through the entire thing again, right? So sprint. That would be like another little push thing there. And then we have this wall here. We go up. And then we go there. And then we air dash. And then we stomp. And then there, boom, we have the end of the level, or the test level. Yeah! That took time. And by time, I mean that took multiple streams to iron out some of the problems and like get my mind on things properly, but we finally have a proper little test level for things, which I'm super stoked about. That's one of the most important things. But we have a proper little test level now. I'm sure it's kind of like bare bones. There's a lot of like flowing geometry, sort of like from point to point and so on and so forth. But it works. It works for like testing the mechanics. And while not necessarily what I'm probably aiming for in terms of like linearity, non-linearity, and like how, say for example, some of the levels in Spyro would loop, it works. It works for what I need it to do. So that is good. So next, I want to, I mean, I need to get rid of the, brush editing because I don't need that at the moment. Gonna go into C++ classes, gonna go here, player. And of course I've got to wait for Rider to open up because I hadn't had it open the entire time. So of course I've got to wait for it to probably index the... like all the stuff within the editor. So I will say though, I will probably like... I would say like rather than 1 a.m. I will finish at 12:30 because today has been like, well, yesterday and today have been a long day, so I'm feeling a little bit tired. So I'll be finishing at 12:30, but we're not finishing yet, so I may as well sort of like go over some things that I want to try and adjust with things. So right, so back into Clip Studio. Make a new little thing because I want something clean and I don't want to like... To be fair, I can get rid of this one. I don't need this one anymore. So, at the moment, with the... let me think. So, at the moment, with wall sliding, I'm going to do this from, like, top view, so it's easier to illustrate what I'm talking about. So, say, for example, we have a wall like this. So, picture this as a wall. I mean, I made it thick enough to be a wall, so it's easy for me to tell. But, we've got the wall there. So, for example, we have the player going in the wall at this angle. And normally, when we have a wall jump, if we were doing this just with a wall jump, we would have the player jump away from the wall like so. They would jump away at the angle that they went in, okay? So, this is, like, basically the whole thing governing, like, wall jumps and stuff. The problem with this, like, while it works fine for wall jumps, is what I'm wanting to do for wall slides. Because at the moment, with things the way that they are now, without any kind of, like, snapping to make the player, like, face the wall, like, so say the player, again, goes in at this angle, and then for the wall slide, it doesn't snap them to face the wall, like, face straight onto the wall. Instead, they're still facing at the angle that they went in. So, if they went in at this angle and they started wall sliding, then they would still be facing at this angle. And that's not what I want to do. So, what I want to do is, if I write this in, so first, let's do a, like, let's draw the player. So first, they're jumping towards this wall. Then we start wall sliding if they don't wall jump. So they start wall sliding if they don't wall jump. Okay? So we already know that this just happens normally. However, what I want to do is, so if I go off here like this, so on wall slide start, or at the very least when the wall sliding actually happens, because from my memory for the player, either within the player or within the player movement, this might have been delegated to player movement. Set, oh, check for wall slide. This is done within the player itself. So check for wall slide. Yep, no, now I remember. It is done within the player, in the player character script rather than the player movement, right? This really should have been like a movement function rather than, oh well. Oh, dreadful. Sorry about that. But yeah, okay, my head went empty again. Sorry about that. So on wall slide start, or during the wall slide, like check for wall slide when it actually detects that the player is sliding on the wall. So we're gonna have a boolean, and I'm gonna have that be like a member variable for the class. So bool, it's gonna be called has snapped, or has snapped to wall. And then on the wall slide start, if this is false, so I'm going to say, like, put the exclamation mark there to say, yeah, this is false, then first things first, in order to prevent this from happening again, we'll just set it to true. And then at the same time, we will essentially get the rotation that the player is supposed to be facing towards. So in this case, like, using the normal, like the thing pointing out from the wall, if you can remember. So if you can remember with surface normals or normals for like collisions and stuff, a normal is basically the thing that points out at 90 degrees from the thing that like it. Yeah, I'm so normal. Yeah, that thing. You're so 90 degrees. The thing that points out 90 degrees from a surface. So, for example, we have this straight wall here. This arrow represents the line that points, or the vector that points out away from the wall. So basically the line that sort of goes away from this wall. What I want to do is, rather than get like, oh, where it's like pushing the player out from when they wall jump in this case, I want to get essentially the opposite of that, so we can snap the player towards where they're supposed to be facing. So set it to true and then snap player rotation. And I only want this to happen when like a wall slide actually happens. I only want this to be when a wall slide actually happens, not like when, oh, the player is about to do a wall jump but it still just does it in general, or, you know. But yeah, so my brain is mush. Is that it? There we go. That's the window for Rider. There we go. So at the moment, I'm trying to remember where B-wall sliding is used. I think it's used for checks within within somewhere else. I'm not sure. Yeah, my head's gone fully empty. Oh yeah, no, I was trying to figure out where this is used and why I have it here. Oh yeah, so this is where I want it. So first things first, gonna go into the player character. Gonna make a private boolean. So bool B has snapped to wall, and that's always going to start off as false. So I'm just gonna say equals false here. And normally, I mean, normally in Unreal I haven't, or in Unreal C++, I haven't done that there. I've done that within the constructor. But just for the sake of it, I'm just setting it to false there, because it's always just going to start off as false anyway. So the first thing I want to do is... Oh, that's check for stomp target. Where is check walls? I've lost check for... Yeah, check for wall slide. There we go. So we say if not B has snapped to wall. So if B has snapped to wall is false, which it will be if the player hasn't slid down a wall yet, and my nose stops being annoying, then we will snap to the wall. But how are we going to do that? So think. Oh yeah, no, I need to look at the wall jump. Though to be fair, I did it completely differently with the wall jump, because I got rid of the code that I originally used. Because instead of reflecting it from the wall, so trace unit direction was get direction unit vector was wall hit dot trace start, wall hit dot trace end. then get the reflection vector with trace unit direction, and the wall hit dot normal. So that was reflecting it along the normal, and then la di da di da di da. So what I need to do is get the wall hit dot normal, because what I was originally doing before was setting it to, I think, the rotation for the wall hit dot normal. So the thing I'm wondering here is what would happen if I were to invert that normal. So equals wall check hit. Oh, why is rider frozen? Oh, there we go. Wall check hit dot normal. So -1 times wall check hit dot normal. So that's what I'll do. And then say set actor rotation to inverted normal dot rotation. Now, this may not necessarily work. B has snapped a wall equals true. I need to make sure I set that. And then B will, then here, of course, B has snapped a wall. It's false. I want it to be set to false in both cases. So B has snapped a wall. There we go. Perfect. Right. So I'm going to swap over to Clip Studio. Oh, wait, no. Actually, one thing. I need to check for the coyote time. So coyote time? And then coyote time limit, I believe, is a variable. So, yeah, coyote time limit is a variable. Right, that was the one other thing I was checking, because with the coyote time, I feel like it's being a little bit too generous for some reason, like when the player jumps like too short. So either that's something to do with the coyote time itself, or maybe I need to adjust the player's jump. But then that may screw with everything else in general. Right, so looking at things, right, now I remember, right, so swap over to Clip Studio, because I'm going to rebuild all the code from source, which means I need to close both the editor and Rider, so I'm gonna have to do that. I should probably also, I mean, stream's not going to last for too much longer, as I said, because I don't want to burn myself out too much today, because in terms of work this weekend, it's been pretty hectic, so I'm just trying to find the folder for the project. Projects. GitHub, Twitch project, Twitch prototype, primaries, intermediate, saved. It's time. It's being a bit frustrating with getting rid of some of the folders. There we go. Perfect. Right. Ooh. Oh, good gosh. Right. And then now we reopen the project. This is going to take a few moments too. Oh. Of course, this is taking its time. God damn it. Also, another ad break begins in about a minute and a half for people in chat. Yeah, I'm on PTO. This time always? Yay! I think the problem is it's just that sometimes building the project from source takes you're going for your memes folder. Are there any other funnies, any other classics, any other zingers that you found? several I am eager to see. And before long, oh, if someone beats you up for being cis het white male and nothing else, did you do? What if the world was made of pudding? What if it was made of pudding? I ask that question on a daily basis. Oof. Ooh, I think the project's finally open again. There we go. And the content browser has popped out the way. Right. Okay, so to be fair, I think this space here is still a good place to check it. So, you know what? We'll check it within, like, the third-person template area. Even though I just went to the effort of building the test level, this is mainly just because, well, you know, this is easy. Also, welcome back! Even though it's going to be for, like, a few more minutes, welcome back, chat. Gonna check to see if this works. Oop, dreadful, pardon me. Of course, it's going to take a moment to start running the bloody thing. Twitch lies. I was watching the ad break countdown in the chat, and it didn't. My ads had at least 10 more seconds. That's just terrible. That's just shit. Right, that works. It's working. So this is a weird feeling. You know, it's like winning a bet that I didn't think I would win. But actually seeing the thing that I thought, you know what? Like, if using the normal itself to just launch the player is the thing that launches the player, then, like, how it used to work, then perhaps inverting that normal will just let the player snap towards the wall when they're actually wall sliding. And it works! It bloody works! It bloody well works! Except for, you know, when it's, like, too, like... Yeah. It's a weird feeling to have the thing actually work the first time without needing to debug or anything. So yeah. I think, you know, having finished building the level, the test level, and actually getting, like, one or two, like, To be fair, I think I need to also... I'm also going to quickly see about adjusting the coyote time, because it's kind of annoying me. So, player, BP player... Right, so coyote time. Yep. So I'm gonna knock it down to about 0.22, so it's not as generous. Because that shouldn't really be possible. Like, that's fine enough, but being able to do that, like a little mini double jump, should not be possible. And that seems to still be... Right. Let's do that down to 0.11. Maybe about a tenth of a second is... Right, let's see. Right, coyote time still works, which is good. And now we're not getting the whole player being able to do a mini double jump from the ground anymore, which is good. Even though that wouldn't affect anything too much, it's still kind of a little hiccup that I'd prefer to iron out now rather than sort of leave it in and it be like, yeah, this is never getting sorted out. So, yeah. Small changes made, small fixes made. Test level finally properly built. So I think this is a good place to leave things off for today. So to everyone who showed up and everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, thank you ever so much for showing up to stream. I really appreciate you being here. Next stream will be tomorrow, and I'm trying to remember what I said I was going to do tomorrow. Let me check my important announcements. Oh yeah, I said I was going to stream Monster Hunter World tomorrow because I have the itch to do all the Elatrion and Fatalis prep since playing the Monster Hunter Wilds beta, and I want to get that done as soon as possible rather than wait and then, you know, still not having done it by the time Wilds comes out. So I want to start doing that prep and do more of it on stream, so I'll be doing that. So yeah, next stream will be tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. Thank you ever so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will see you all again in the very next stream.